Supernatural beliefs and practices are the last thing we would associate with a modern, cosmopolitan city like Singapore. But apart from religious establishments, a quick search on the internet shows that there are, in fact, a dozen occult shops present in this country. So how do these shops even thrive in our modern metropolis? I'm Wendy, and this is Hidden Hustles. I do have a lot of questions coming in today. So I'm a Christian and I believe in the supernatural realm. So when the director told me about this episode, because a lot of people believe and put a lot of faith in all this spiritual like amulets and spells, rituals and stuff. So I'm just like really intrigued to know whether it works and why do they feel that it works. Yeah.
अंतरात्मा बम के लिए रनिया बेली मुक्त कर ईमान मरघट मैया मासान बाबा हमारी इच्छा हो जा पूरा ओम फट फट स्वाहा मां काली हम जन लड़का में हर दर्शन दिलन बहुत दुष्ट बाने हम के अमुक कर शाकनी लाकनी हाकनी लाकनी दाकनी ए मोहिनी योगिनी हाकिनी लाकिनी शाकिनी दाकिनी दक्षिणे काली करम चक्र गड़े पुष्चा पापरीध्या चुलभुचिंदी सरसंग सधती करे स्त्रीनयन सबदृग भुजामृतान्नी ओम करम चक्र गड़े पुष्चा पापरीध्या चुलभुचिंदी सरसंग सधती करे स्त्रीनयन तारा ओम फट स्वाहा.
Okay, so what ritual was just done here?
This was a ritual meant to break a couple apart. The mother of the guy in the relationship approached us for help to break up this couple from this girl who has been very abusive in the relationship. So after doing more investigation into the matter, I do so spiritually. We discovered that this lady has a penchant for using the help of other sorcerers to bewitch people into giving her money.
So this ritual that you did, it was to kind of
create division, differences between them in their relationship, and for the guy to come to his senses and to break off the relationship.
Is it considered like dark magic, black magic?
When you are invoking 52 Bir Betar, it is already accepted that the magic, as you say, you are going to perform is of a dark nature. So they are very powerful, malevolent entities that can be invoked for harm or for good.
Then what are your boundaries when you perform such rituals?
When it comes to the very young, the very weak and elderly, and even in this ritual today that was done, it is to split them up but not to cause any physical or spiritual harm to the person.
I say, because you have that power in that sense to bring together people and separate people, so doesn't that feel like you're playing with fate?
I don't have power. The power comes from God. So the question of playing with people's life doesn't even come into focus here, because I'm merely the instrument. The doer is someone else.
Okay.
Based on my belief system.
Okay. I don't want to come off as rude by questioning Babaji's beliefs so early on, so I'm first getting him to share about his experiences as an exorcist.
I have done a lot of exorcisms in the course of my life. So these are what we refer to as these spiritually cursed objects. So this box is believed to contain the spirit of what is known as Mei Hyong Prai. The closest resemblance we could get to local references would be the Pontianak, and it was bought in Thailand by a female client of mine. She enlisted the help of this spirit to do so. It came to a point where she felt a feeling of separateness from her body. And she felt like that she was two people at one time. And it was one of the worst cases of a spirit possession that I had encountered. Yeah.
You okay?
I had one of those episodes. The heartbeat shit.
Yeah, you can take a seat.
Yeah, I take a seat. It happens in the what weird shit when I talk about like how to protect. Sometimes you
As in, is it
restricted
feeling
from
something?
sharing something.
Yeah, is it? Oh.
Sometimes.
Okay.
So I take a break and I go back and do it again. Now okay lah, 113. Okay.
So how did it all start? Like you communicating with?
In the very early days, because of my fascination with spirits, the unknown, the supernatural, the most logical choice to my then young mind was to go visit the cemetery if I was hoping to have some paranormal encounters. As time progressed, I became more emboldened. I didn't really feel afraid. More or less, I've never been uncomfortable in any place where the dead are lying in peace. This is called a coffin ghost. They're worshipped with whiskey, with meat, eggs, and incense. And in return, whenever you ask for them a wish, they will grant it to you.
What is it? What's the purpose of that?
Jenglos are believed to be the souls of a necromancer who died and then upon death was shrunken into a doll-sized being. And they are known to be a particular menace in our neighboring country where they are said to suck the blood of the livestock.
Okay, so I think coming here today, I was a bit intrigued because it's my first time visiting a specialist occult. Why do we need to go through all like the rituals and protection and all that for our own lives if there is an easier way to do things?
For me, coming from a Vedic belief system, it's just that the Sanatan Dharma or Hinduism has a very ritual-based where rituals are prescribed for rainfall, for removing sickness, for better bountiful harvest. We do not consider something too extreme or something too negative. So, like if we talk about this case, you said if there was an easier way, easiest way would be for the mother to talk to her son, share her feelings with him, and it could be resolved on a family nucleus level. But he is totally not receptive to that. So the easier way did not work. And then if this way did not work, then what option do we have left in our lives as human beings? However, morally, whether it's right, it's wrong, this is a very loaded question. And each human being will interpret this differently according to their own life experiences. Those who have gone through a lot of pain in life will say, you know what, there is no harm in this. Those who have led a very sheltered lifestyle, they would find this appalling.
At this point, I think I've got a better understanding of what Babaji does, but I still have some burning questions about the spiritual items that he sells.
Okay, so what are all these rings for?
These are my collection of Kadamic rings. So my rings have the jinn. So the jinn are like human beings. There are good ones, then there are bad ones. I did have one such encounter with a Kadamic ring that was delivered to my shop sometime early last year. So as I was just going through the CCTV footage, a black mass of smoke or something like that was moving throughout my shop, trying to find a way out. I did some prayers and discovered that it is inhospitable for him because of his evil nature.
Let's say if I wear a ring and the jinn escapes, right? Will it affect me
No.
or the wearer?
In the jinn world, if there is one law that is absolute, is that the jinn cannot and will not revolt against his master or his aka.
Okay. Is there anything that you are like known for, you specialize in?
So what moves the most in our shop on a daily basis is what I call the Asura Takrut.
Okay.
This spell harnesses the power of these Asura beings. The closer you can consider them would be demigods or deities.
So if I purchase one of these, I can wish for whatever I want in my life.
That would depend on what you are wishing for.
Okay.
My takruts can be used to help yourself in as many ways as you want, but they cannot be used to harm someone. Sometimes they buy these amulets and talismans to protect themselves. Sometimes it is to enrich their lives, or they hope to gain certain favors and blessings bestowed upon them that would make their life easier.
Then is it like, okay, or is it not considered, it's like a cheat code almost in life?
You see, it's what we do with the amulet that matters the most in our life. If we can get ahead in life and help others, then there is no harm in it.
Okay, I would say humans are inherently selfish in nature. So how do we know people are doing good with all these amulets?
In my experience, human beings are needy. If those needs can be fulfilled, then they can have some spiritual contentment and they will become better human beings, more receptive to those around them and willing to help others more in need.
But this is a very idealistic way of thinking.
I am an idealistic person.
I mean,
That's why I'm in this life.
okay.
I have seen the very worst in human beings. And I have personally have experiences with people who have taken advantage of me, who have cheated me, robbed me, stolen from me. I can become a bad person or a good person. It all depends on me. I have the right to decide how I wish to interact with the world. I wouldn't call it idealism. I would call it trying to make the world around us a better place, one person at a time. And the day I stop believing in this ideology of mine is the day I will close the shutters for the final time and move on.
Okay. But for now, you still see
All fine and dandy because I still see the good in people and there are many good people around.
Okay. I think my question is also why is there a need if there is a higher power or being that you believe in that is supposed to protect you?
Amulets have arisen from a different culture with different ideologies behind them. Where sometimes a certain group of people, a certain belief, they want something more physical to remind them of something. So amulets fulfill all these needs, emotional, spiritual needs of the people. Whether you talk to God in your heart or you talk to God as an image or in an amulet or whichever form and matter, important is that you continue talking to God. If God is going to answer your prayers, He will.
There's growing tension in our conversations, so we decided to take a break first.
So was there anything else you wanted to be when you were growing up?
While growing up, I entertained the notion of becoming a policeman. I found the uniforms very cool and I loved the fact that they had a gun.
So then you've taken such a, I would say not very conventional path, obviously. Then how did your family feel about it?
Yes, I did face a lot of opposition because given my childhood and my upbringing, there was nothing in it for them to ever have an inkling of what I was going to do in the future as my profession.
In that case, are you, like even with your friends, do they share the same interests or beliefs?
Now you see, given the work I have done, personal time, I don't have any friends, so there's no need for me to worry about interacting with them. Yeah, my life has been very quiet.
Do you ever feel like it's lonely going down this path?
Most of the time, I feel lonely. It's not something that everyone wants for themselves. People's priorities are different, and it just so happens that mine is off the beaten track. There is nothing to be done about it. It is the way things are for me in my life.
Then do you ever miss going to social interactions like weddings and all this?
Who is going to call me to a wedding? It will always be at the back of the minds of every man and woman to interact with me. If he can take them out, I'm sure he can put them in.
Take them as in
Take them out.
spirits.
Spirits, demons, what have you. And if that is indeed the case, then it's better not to be too much of a friend or an enemy of such a person.
And before the day ends, Babaji shows me one last ritual that he conducts for other clients.
Re Mai, Re Mai, Re Mai, Jai Ma Tara, Jai Ma Kali, Jai Ma Lalita Tripura Sundari Devi.
So how do you know this works or this will work?
When the client reports back to us, usually it's a good indicator that the ritual has been a success.
Then, or could it also be like a coincidence?
If such coincidences happen after I have done my reconciliation rituals, and I welcome such coincidences every time, as long as you get what you want, why look a gift horse in his mouth? People can exercise their free will to believe or not to believe. That is their prerogative, their God-given right. I do not question such things, nor do I spend too much time thinking about them.
I just had a thought or a question as you were talking about free will. In the example of, let's say I was in a relationship and then he goes to you to ask for a reconciliation ritual, in that sense, do I have that free will to not reconcile?
Absolutely.
How does that work?
I believe what my reconciliations ritual do is through the prayers that we perform, allow for the grief party's heart to heal emotionally, spiritually, and reanalyze the relationship that has ceased to be and see if there is anything more in it that can be salvaged.
So really helping people is why you do what you do.
I believe this has become a job for me.
Okay.
And I'm privileged that my job does allow me to spiritually help people. These are the few things that help me to, in times when the going has gone tough, reading the testimonials sent by these people kept me going in the darkest hours of my life.
Okay.
And I don't miss not having any friends or having those type of social interactions because I have other hobbies which keep me very well occupied, like reading.
What's one thing you're the most passionate about in this?
I love the werewolf genre of shape-shifting.
What about it that makes you so interested?
What is it about that transmutation is what has always captured my interest. Is man really able to rearrange the atoms in his body to assume a different shape and form? Or is it magic? I have loved them since the first movie I watched, American Werewolf in London.
I was going to say Wolverine.
No, not a big X-Men fan here.
Okay. Sad. Okay. So coming to this episode, I had a lot of questions and I was ready to challenge him, even when he was like sharing his why he does what he does and certain things that he stood for. Inside of me, I was ready to like fight him on that. On the other hand, as he was sharing, I also felt myself lowering down this want to be like more on the offense with him and kind of understanding him on a more human level. One connection I felt that I had with Babaji was also when he was talking about how he has an idealistic view of the world. I mean, I hope also with the things that I put out on the media, it helps to impact a person. So I guess in that regard, there is like that intention and there's the idealistic dream of wanting to like make the world a better place. Just that our means are different. Yeah. Well, thanks for watching this episode. It was very when Pei Fang asked me to do it, I was like, no. And then she
you
still...
said no. You wanted to say no. Oh, I didn't know. Okay, okay, I'm sorry.
If you stayed till the end, you're a real one. This is
Yeah.
a new series of hidden hustles that we're exploring. And we're quite excited to
Yes.
see if you like it. If you want to see more, let us know actually what you want to see.
Yeah. Oh, please support this video so that we can go overseas to do similar topics too, if you're interested. Okay, the next episode is directed by Wendy, so please support her
Yes.
if you're interested in some private investigator topics.
We have some juicy stories.
Okay, this is Real Bye.
Bye.